Good, happy Tuesday morning, June 15, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, so let's begin. First up, man killed by police in Pittsfield shooting. Authorities say no officers were hurt, AG's office says. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility.
Well, Tom, the Attorney General's office calling this a difficult end to some 10 hours of negotiations to try to bring this situation under control peacefully. The Attorney General's office has identified the man killed in that shooting as 52-year-old Anthony Hannon of Pittsfield. Authorities were first called to a home on Lyford Hill Road at about 4 this morning for that domestic disturbance. They say Hannon was armed and refused to leave the home and be taken into custody. The AG's office is not ready to release any information on whether anyone else was in the home with Hannon. The Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit, which is a regional SWAT team, was also called in. They say the standoff lasted some 10 hours, ending when shots were fired at around 2 this afternoon between Hannon and officers. Hannon was killed. No one else was hurt. All of it bringing in a massive police presence here throughout the day today, closing off that area off of Route 28 to traffic for some time.
It's a very close residential area. It's a dead-end street. It is remarkable, and we're thankful that nobody else was hurt. There were a lot of efforts put into trying to have a more peaceful resolution.
And an autopsy is set for tomorrow. Reporting live in Pittsfield tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Many communities finalize 4th of July plans, including fireworks. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors on...
The 4th of July will be back with a bang this year as towns and cities plan to recognize Independence Day in a more traditional fashion.
Our community members, the public at large need it, and we need it as well. To see happy faces and, back to normal.
Claremont will celebrate on the 4th in Monadnock Park with fireworks, vendors, and live music. Officials are expecting a big turnout for a night free of COVID restrictions.
If you don't feel comfortable coming to the park, there will be many places within our community where you'll be able to see the celebration.
Some communities will take another approach. Amherst is canceling its fireworks display this year, instead offering a reverse parade at the high school. In Dover, the city will have fireworks on the 4th, but no other festivities.
I think it's a big statement for our community and as well as many communities to say, we want to get back to as much as possible life as we know it and enjoying the past. So this is something that we really see as a big kickoff to the summer.
And instead of a downtown show, the fireworks will be shot off from Garrison Hill Park. That's the highest point in the city.
That'll allow tens of thousands of people from all around the area to see the fireworks, not have to necessarily be in close proximity to each other.
Regardless of how communities are planning to commemorate the 4th, show organizers want everyone to be safe when they celebrate the USA with family and friends. In Nashua, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. COVID-19 variants making up a growing number of cases in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
As we ease back into life with friends and family, Mahindra is here to help on the good days and the tough ones.
The Alpha variant, also known as the UK variant, is the dominant variant strain in New Hampshire with a little more than 1,100 total cases. As far as testing for variants, well, the state says it does not test every case for specific strains. Rather, it has a surveillance program which selects a sample of cases to test. And that's on par with how the rest of the country tests for variants.
So this just gives us an indication of what is specifically circulating in our communities, but it doesn't result in any necessarily change in action on our part if a person has one strain versus another strain.
Overall, COVID-19 cases are falling across the state, but the virus continues to linger. Sullivan County has moved back up to substantial community spread. Officials say there could be a couple of different factors causing this. Population is one of them.
They have a smaller underlying population. They might still be having relatively fewer cases, but because they have a smaller population, it makes their rate look a little bit higher than, say, the number of cases you need to have in Manchester to have the same rate.
Dr. Daly says vaccinations remain the best way to keep cases low and to keep people safe.
The more people that we have vaccinated, the less this infection can transmit in our populations, and it will protect people who maybe didn't respond fully to the dose of vaccine.
And on another note, it has been 2 weeks since the Memorial Day weekend, a time when a lot of people gather together for the holiday. Some good news here, the state says it has not seen an increase in cases connected to that holiday. Reporting live tonight, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three more Granite Staters die of COVID-19 as cases and hospitalizations continue to drop. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
As we ease back into life with friends and family, Mahindra is here to help on the good.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Jennifer Vaughn. Active cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire have dropped under 300 for the first time since September 22nd.
The state just released 3 days worth of data. It's no longer reporting on the weekend. That's why. There are 99 new cases of COVID-19. Current hospitalizations now down to 20, but there are 3 new deaths.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pop-up vaccination clinics help bring vaccines to Granite Staters. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility.
There's been quite a few people that have just expressed like, oh yeah, I've been interested, just haven't done anything about it yet. And so it's been nice to provide that convenient option for them.
A pop-up clinic could be coming to a farmer's market or library near you. Regional public health networks are leading the way and say they can pretty much do them anywhere. The state signs off on the clinics and provides the shots.
It's pretty straightforward. We do like if they can focus on some of those vulnerable or hard to reach populations as part of our equity initiative, but they can do other populations as well too.
Coos County health officials say their population has the most vaccine hesitant folks in the state, and that most of the people who are willing to get the shot have done so already, which is true in Cheshire County too, according to Tricia Zahn. That's what makes the pop-up such a great tool.
It's been nice to be able to meet people where they're at, make it as convenient as possible for them. They can register on site, they can be vaccinated on site, especially if they're choosing Johnson & Johnson, a one-dose vaccine, then they're one and done.
Zahn says the process is seamless. They have iPads with the Vidi site loaded on them to keep track of who's getting vaccinated and to book those second shots if needed.
We've got some on the books and some that are coming, and we're open to more. So if folks have audiences or locations that they'd like to partner with the Public Health Network, we'd be more than happy to hear from them.
And that includes employers. They can reach out to the state if they'd like a pop-up clinic to come to their location. Reporting live, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. State lawmakers near plan to limit governor's emergency powers. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and durability.
Simmering beneath the fight against the COVID-19 virus for more than a year now has been the debate over executive power amid a months-long emergency. Tonight, lawmakers are poised to agree on a new system, emergency declarations that last 45 days and continue only with an affirmative vote of the House and Senate. The legislature would also have the power to invalidate individual emergency orders by concurrent resolution of both chambers, and it will regain full oversight of emergency spending via the fiscal committee.
The governor, no matter whoever he or she is, has to have the ability to act on behalf of the people of the state to ensure their health, their safety, and their welfare. But at some point, the legislature also needs to chime in on that.
Lawmakers say this isn't about arbitrarily nuking future emergency orders or sending a message to the current governor.
Would I do anything different than the governor? I can't tell you. I think he's done a great job, but I don't know why he did it. We didn't get the information. We weren't privy to it. So how can we explain to our constituents what's happening to them if we don't get the information?
The goal is to ensure the legislative branch isn't sidelined in a future pandemic or extended emergency.
The version of the bill that the House created passed the House 328 to 41. So clearly the people and through the representatives indicated they want changes to the current situation.
The governor does have a say in this process with his veto pen, but Republicans appear ready to make these changes, and Democrats, who sued over emergency powers last year, are signaling their approval for this deal, as long as it doesn't go too far.
What I don't want to do is in any way get in the way of the chief executive, Homeland Security and Emergency Management, any of those decision makers who carry out the operations.
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. NATO summit underway aimed cyber attacks. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
I've travelled all over, telling folks they could save by bundling home and car insurance. But here's the real secret. Eye contact. We just had a moment.
Geico.
We begin tonight with President Biden making global headlines late this afternoon on his 8-day foreign trip. Tonight, a NATO summit in Brussels, and the president pushing that message that America is back. And unlike his predecessor, who called NATO obsolete, President Biden calling attention to NATO's Article 5, that an attack on one is an attack on all, that NATO is rock solid, in his words, and a sacred commitment. The leaders of the 30-nation alliance gathering for a group photo, recognizing aggression from Russia, also for the first time acknowledging as a group the growing military threat from China, and agreeing to tackle new challenges from cyber warfare to disinformation campaigns to anti-missile defense. Late today, President Biden addressing that high-stakes meeting this week with Vladimir Putin. Our Cecilia Vega leading off the questions. The president, in his answer, calling Putin bright, tough, and a worthy adversary. But what the president then said about expectations, will he draw red lines with Putin? Our chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off with the president in Brussels.
Today in Brussels, President Biden standing firm with the leaders of NATO, an alliance his predecessor once called obsolete, reaffirming America's commitment to the principle that an attack on one NATO country is an attack on them all.
Article 5 we take as a sacred obligation. I just want all of Europe to know that the United States is there. The United States is there.
Today, for the first time, the allied nations named China as a new security threat, calling out its, quote, assertive behavior. The other looming threat, Russia, President Biden preparing to meet Vladimir Putin Wednesday in Geneva, insisting that meeting is worthwhile despite Russia's hostile actions.
Every world leader here thanked me for meeting with Putin now. Every single one.
They'll discuss Putin's election meddling and the 2 recent ransomware attacks originating in Russia. One threatened to disrupt the U.S. meat supply, the other on the Colonial Pipeline, triggering gas shortages and price hikes along the East Coast. There's also the matter of several Americans imprisoned in Russia, including businessman Paul Whelan, serving a 16-year sentence for espionage. Whelan insists he's innocent. In a new audio message released by his family, he begs President Biden to bring him home.
I implore you to bring this appalling case of hostage diplomacy to an end. Please bring me home to my family and my dog Flora, where I belong.
Today, the president telling me he's ready.
You've met Vladimir Putin before. What have you learned about him that informs how you approach this sit-down with him? And what's your mindset walking into a meeting with a former KGB agent who you've said has no soul?
I'm going to make clear to President Putin that there are areas where we can't cooperate if he chooses. And if he chooses not to cooperate and acts in a way that he has in the past relative to cybersecurity and some other activities, then we will respond. We will respond in kind. I have met with him. He's bright. He's tough. And I have found that he is as they say when he used to play ball, a worthy adversary.
And Cecilia Vega with us again tonight, this time live in Brussels as she continues to travel with the president. And Cecilia, all the focus now turning to this upcoming summit in Geneva, obviously with Vladimir Putin. And tonight we've learned one more thing that we will not see, a joint news conference between President Biden and Vladimir Putin, and President Biden explaining why.
Yeah, David, and it's really unusual to not see the president in a setting after a summit like this, but President Biden is explaining it. He says he doesn't want this to turn into a contest about who can embarrass each other more, or turn into questions about whether they shook hands or whether they spoke, who spoke the most. David, the president says he is going to be clear. He's going to walk in there firm. He's going to be straightforward, but he does not want conflict out of this.
Cecilia, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Thank you for joining us for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everyone.